What's up, folks? I'm Ncaa31 here, bringing you some NCAA 13 online ranked action. While I'm watching Monday Night Football and doing some yakking. Multitasking at its finest. Editing, yapping, and watching football. Can't get any better than that. But anyhow, here I am in an online ranked game. Couldn't find anyone on my friends list to play, so I had to dive into the ranked and online lobby pool, the cesspool that is, and take a warm hot shower afterwards. But I'm sitting here working on my custom spread no huddle playbook. It's in the very early stages, and like always, whenever you start out, or at least whenever I start out with a spread playbook, or not a spread playbook, but a custom playbook, I always have too much in it.
He's changing things
so there's some definite fat trimming going on as we speak. What ends up happening, you see plays that look good in the play art, and you put in, other plays that you think you'll need, but you get into live action and you find out that some of the plays that looked good don't quite work that well, or the plays that you put in that are, perfectly good plays, they don't quite fit into what you're trying to do, or you just don't need them. And in my experience with getting on the custom playbook train a little bit late this year, my experience has been less is usually more.
Run right side.
Trim the fat, streamline what you want to do, have it make, consistent schematic sense, and then just go to war with it once you're happy with it. But the inspiration for this sucker is a little bit of Rich Rodriguez with the zone read game, a dash of Gus Malzahn, a sprinkling of a Brian Kelly style passing game, and also a old school BYU look. The passing game, air raid, staples, the shallow cross, and whatnot out of shotgun pro sets, and spread and trips and empty formations. Like here's a little Gus Malzahn flavor with the wing offset formations. But I base mostly out of shotgun pro sets. I really like shotgun pro sets.
And down he goes at about the...
And it's definitely designed to get the quarterback involved in the running game. A little bit more on designed runs. But unfortunately, there aren't really a lot of designed runs outside of the QB wrap, draw, and blast games that are all that effective. The QB wrap is basically the closest thing you're going to get to a QB counter or sweep in some places, or in some cases.
Pulls down the catch and he's got
there just aren't enough of them. A lot of the QB powers don't work that well. Some of them do, but not a lot.
Is looking to go up by 3.
So if you want to get a designed QB running game going, you got to go draw, blast, or wrap. And of course, there's the read option, jet sweeps, jet sweep option, play action off of all of that good stuff. And when I need to or want to go into that air raid passing mode, I can do that as well.
Completes it across the middle.
So basically, if I was an offensive coordinator and was designing a spread offense, this is the kind of spread offense I would want to run. And I'm playing one of the douches of the online ranked pool. Squib kicks, run commit. He has wide receivers at tight end. He has Beckham Green, or Green Beckham, whatever the heck his name is. MIZZOU stud freshman wide receiver at tight end in one of his sets. Just your typical nonsense. There is something new that I hadn't come across. I came across recently in the Madden world, where you can run commit, you can cancel run commit. You still get the ridiculous, over-exaggerated action of your defensive linemen and linebackers, but your secondary will drop back into coverage. I don't know how to do it, or anything like that, but that's the new cheese, or the new gimmick that's going around, just so you're aware of it. And his game plan, basically, and you'll see it develop, is to send one of his guys that he has at tight end down the seam and the other on a shake route. I mean, tight ends in general are tough to cover in both NCAA and Madden.
Well, he must have hurried
mainly because of how the defense aligns and the fact that it's nearly impossible to contest them off the line of scrimmage. That even bad ones can get open pretty nicely. The fact that you have to put receivers there, it shows what a clown you must be.
He's tackled at the 7-yard line.
But anyhow, it is what it is. Online ranked.
Tries to get around the corner. Touchdown, Tigers.
But anyhow, what about good old Notre Dame?
He's at midfield.
Notre Dame is the #1 team in all the land.
Appears that he's changing things up here before the snap.
#1 and undefeated. With only USC in the way to get to the BCS National Championship game.
That's what you like to see.
And I'm not going to get too far ahead of myself. I'm not going to get too overexcited. I'm not going to hex my team. After all, at the beginning of the year, what did I say? Notre Dame would lose 2 games this season. They would lose to Oklahoma, and they would lose to USC. I'm not going to take USC lightly, even though USC just let UCLA take over the city. Lane Kiffin continues to be unmasked as the coaching fraud that he is. I'm not gonna pour salt into the wound until the wound is festering. Period. I expect USC, if they have any pride at all, and I suspect that they do, we'll get the USC that plays to its potential. So it'll be a tough task for my Notre Dame Fighting Irish. And it looks like no matter what happens in the SEC, we're going to get an SEC team in the championship game for the 500th year in a row.
They go with the option.
The only way it looks like Oregon will get back into it is if Notre Dame loses. The only way K-State will get back into it is if Notre Dame and Oregon lose. Florida State and Clemson has to see the apocalypse come in order to get in. They're the one-loss teams that everyone has pretty much ignored and forgotten about, as they're both behind 2-loss teams. Florida State is 10, Clemson is 11, and they're behind LSU, Stanford, and Texas A&M. Wow, I'm not sure I agree with that. You know, just by using the old eyeball test, I think both those teams are better than any 3 of those. But, you know, the rankings are what they are.
Back to pass.
But I am very happy with what Notre Dame has done either way. I mean, if Brian Kelly can win a national championship, he'll be a god for life. He'll never have to do anything ever again. He can pretty much just either chill at Notre Dame for the rest of his life, or he can write his ticket anywhere he wants to go.
Coaches don't like it when their quarterback gets hit like that. Don't be surprised to see the old coach get on his lineman to protect the quarterback a little bit.
Bringing Notre Dame back into relevancy. I'm not going to get too excited over how the offense performed against Boston College and Wake, because it's Boston College at Wake. But, you know, the defense has been the rock of that team all year. First in scoring defense, 10.1 points per game. No one saw that coming. Nobody. I mean, their offense is mediocre, you know, for a college offense. 27.2 points per game is low.
He drops back. Going to the end zone, and it's coming.
Brian Kelly has pretty much redesigned his offense. Well, not really redesigned it. He still runs the same stuff, but he runs a more methodical, scaled down version of what he does. Because when you see Reese in the game, you notice that when Reese comes into the game, all of a sudden you see the 5 wides, you see the trips, and you see the vertical stems come out. But when Golson's in there, it's pretty much vanilla. It's not very complex. It's mostly power run. He's getting him more involved in design QB runs and a lot of high-low simplified reads. I mean, they average about 200 yards per game on the ground. So that tells you, you know, that he's scaling back his system to fit the kind of team that he has and the quarterback that he has, and that's a sign of a very good coach. as opposed to the fraud and the buffoon that coaches USC. But again, I'm going to behave.
Looking to throw.
I'm not going to get too far ahead of myself. What I will do is comment on Oregon and K-State. This has happened to Oregon the past couple of years now. We're late in the season. They play a game where they look tight, they look nervous, they look jittery, and if they get into a game when a team can handle them along a line of scrimmage, their offense tends to sputter. They tend to struggle.
Really, there's not much more
I don't know if it's a case where they need to tweak that offense a little bit, or if it's just a case where they just need to get over the hump and need to just execute in these games better. Because, you know, 2 years in a row now, you lose big-time important games at home in November, late in the season. Not November, or November/late in the season, let's call it. And that's the thing about college football, and that's the reason why I love the college football season so much, and why I've never been much of a proponent of a playoff system. To me, the college football regular season is a playoff. Each week, you have to win to stay in the mix. Each week, you have to show up. And as the months go by, the stakes get bigger and bigger and bigger, and you find out which team has players that can manage the situation, or who will freak out and throw a stink bomb like K-State did. I mean, it's one thing to have Baylor score on you. Baylor can play offense. Baylor is a very explosive offensive team. They were one of the best offensive teams in the country. But be that as it may, you can't score on them at all. Well, not at all, but enough to, you know, keep that game close. And that was just a complete and total, you know, whitewashing.
He's to the 40.
You know, Baylor averages 43.6 points per game.
Oh boy, you're right. And all week long this secondary,
you can't sneeze at that. That ranks, let's see where that ranks. That ranks 5th nationally.
Prove it on the field. Forget about talking trash.
But on defense,
let's see how they react after giving up that big play.
Their defense stinks.
And they get him in the backfield for a long.
Let's go their defensive stats.
He lets it fly. Can't connect.
Baylor 5-5, 2-5 in the Big 12.
Down he goes.
They give up 37. They gave up just shy of 38 points per game. Good for 117th. That's awful. That's really bad.
Last time they had the ball, they were able to pick apart the defense.
Really bad.
The field for a touchdown.
This is a team that scored 63 points in the game and lost, and they bomb you 52-24. That is a choke job. At least Stanford is a solid, gritty, tough team. But gosh.
Well, that interception came in our final score.
That's not good at all. So there you have it.
Notre Dame.
Notre Dame, #1, undefeated. And I just saw a link that says Matt Barkley is out. Is that true? Someone confirm that for me.
Let's get Kirk Herbstreit's final thoughts.
Can't always believe what you see or read.
Well, this was shaping up to be a really close game.
If that's true,
they had to do. Made some big plays.
I might be a little bit more confident.
Notre Dame could have just as easily found themselves on the other end of the score. That's how even these two teams were coming in.
We stand as far as the state of Notre Dame.
Should be very happy about the win.
And that is how the first draft of my custom playbook is looking. Hope you guys enjoyed it, and I'll talk to you all later as Gunnar Conn, player of the game, stepping in for the injured Everett Golson. Peace.